Hey, welcome to the second course video for the song When I Grow Up from NF and his album The Search. I'm musically malnourished, and you're on my journey to go deep and wide in discovering new music and artists. In these videos, we do a deep dive into the lyrics and meaning behind the music. So let's get in, see what's going on with this song. All right, When I Grow Up is the third single off of NF's 2019 album, The Search. On the track, NF shares when growing up, he aspired to be a rapper rather than go to college. So I need to go to college or work a 9-to-5 job. He also shares his motivation from doubters growing up who motivated him as an artist. The music video was released with the release of the track. NF plays the role of many ordinary jobs, including a janitor, a trashman, and a fast food worker, then finishes the video off with him pursuing his career of being a rapper. Okay. And we will get that music video up on Patreon, so feel free to check that out. Here we go. Yeah, when I grow up, you like how the attitude I brought with that? Yeah. When I grow up, you know what I want to be? Take a seat. Let me tell you my ridiculous dreams. I want to rap. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe, and I can tell you're already thinking I will never succeed. But I'm okay with it. I admit the lyrics are weak. You know what's interesting about this? Because the reality of somebody building, a successful music career, put aside the stereotypes that might exist between somebody wanting to be a rapper or somebody that maybe doesn't fit the bill for rock or metal or whatever genre of music you want to talk about. Even the idea of somebody saying, I want to play in the NBA or any of these dreams that we know, there is a very tiny chance that that becomes a reality. But here's the thing. It's only, not everyone that thinks that way makes that a reality, but the only ones that make that a reality are the ones that think that way. So I try to, and that's an interesting thing as a parent, right? Because obviously kids, when they're younger, a lot of them, especially if they're into athletics, talk about wanting to pursue professional sports. My middle son is a really talented basketball player. And for a while, he talked about the NBA. But one of the things I was most proud about is one day on his own, and all three of my kids, 14-year-old, 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old, 2 boys and a girl, were talking about their families and how their career would fit into the families that they wanted to build. And he's kind of on this side of I'd love to play college basketball to help me through college, but then thinking about the other jobs that he might do. Total side note, but proud dad moment, that he's thinking about, I think, things that really matter in life and what he desires. But even when he was more so pointed towards the NBA, it's kind of yes, let him know. It's very difficult. There's a small percentage of people that make it there, but if that's your goal, go for it. I'll back you up. At the same time, we're not going to neglect everything else just to head toward that. We're still going to do great in school. We're going to talk about other things, but yeah, hold on to that dream. And I think that's the challenge as a parent, is how do you set realistic expectations? But the reality is there are people that make it into those things. And so I don't know. I was just thinking about that when he said that, because sure, when he's in high school or whatever, talking about wanting to do that, you kind of look and you're like, okay, but what's your real job going to be? And there is always that balance between trying to at least set some realistic expectations, but the person that's actually going to make that thing a reality is going to be the person that believes that they can and is willing to put it all on the line to make it happen. And he did. But I'm okay with it. I admit the lyrics are weak. I've been working on them. I'll be good eventually. So true. One of my favorite quotes is, I think it's the path to mastery is in incremental steps. Something like that. But it's the reality, right? That if you're going to master something, yeah, it's just going to be, you're going to not be good at it at first. And probably along the way, you'll produce stuff that's not so good. But you get in the reps, you spend the time, you apply yourself to learning, to evolving, to experimenting, and you get better. I understand you got to crawl before you get to your feet. So yeah, exactly what I was talking about. But I've been running for a while. They ain't ready for me. I love that, just the idea of him saying that he's been putting in the work, I know this probably isn't realistic. And honestly, I might not ever make a difference, but that don't make a difference. I'm gonna have to risk it. I've been crunching numbers. You ain't got to be a mathematician to see the odds ain't rooting for me. I can't lie though. It's kind of how I like it to be. The underdog. Yeah, you probably think you know what I mean. But what I'm saying is they ever push me, I'm going to swing. Yeah, I could go to college, get in debt like everybody else. I kind of wish, which the underdog makes sense in maybe like in a Rocky way, the idea of swinging. I kind of wish he would have tied underdog. If they push me, I'm going to bite. But that probably didn't flow as well. That's where you have to balance that out, especially in like rap songs and in music. Like there might be words that seem like they fit better, but if they don't flow, you got to change them. I could go to college, get in debt like everybody else, graduate, probably get a job that doesn't pay the bills. That don't make a lot of sense to me. Forget the Happy Meals. I don't like the dollar menu. I'd rather make a meal. Huh? I love this section. Make a meal? Nah, I said make a meal. Home cooking, get the grill, how you want it. Pretty well? Because obviously a steak you can get done. Medium rare, well done, medium well. Everything I see is overdone. Oh, that's a great connection. Pretty well. Everything I see is overdone. To me, I'm not Adele, but I'm going to get a record deal and say hello to mass appeal. When I grow up, I just want to pay my bills, rapping about the way I feel. I just want to make a couple mil, leave it to the fam and the will. I just want to sign a record deal. Okay, that's a repeating line. Oh, wait, here we go. Maybe buy a house up in the hills. Might not be the best in my field, but I guarantee that I'm a die real when I grow up. Verse 2. I'm going to make them notice me, rhyming like it's poetry. Everything I oversee, I just like to overthink. Mocking me, you pay the fee. No return and no receipts. Those of you that don't believe, quiet. You don't know a thing. Quiet when I'm trying to sing. Quiet when I'm making beats. Quiet when I'm trying to think. Sorry, I don't mean to scream. I just feel like no one really gets me, and it's sad to see. Because someday I'm going to grow up and show all of you it's meant to be. Anybody want to hear me rap? No. Come on, let me play a couple tracks. No. Come on, I can spit it real fast. No. You think I should throw this in the trash? No. Tricked you. I love that part, right? Because you get somebody saying the same thing over and over and over and over. And then he tricks them. Go away before I hit you. I'm not a beggar or a kiss up. You don't understand? Well, I forgive you. I'm not a quitter. You ain't really think that, did you? Maybe someday I could even be up on the radio, have a tour bus, maybe even play a couple shows. Everybody in the crowd singing every word I wrote, telling me that I am not the only one that feels alone. What I love about this too is like writing this from in retrospect is interesting because these are probably honestly the things that he thought about when he was younger, but he's also seen them come to pass. So he's able to write in retrospect from a reality that has already come into being. Huh? You feel alone? Yeah, I kind of feel alone. Wondering if that feeling ever goes away when you get old. Will I ever make it as an artist? I don't really know. Might not make a lot of dough. I'ma have to try it though. Okay, and then we have a repeated chorus. And the outro. Very good, man. I am really loving this album. I think NF is definitely in his bag here. and just always interesting things to look at on not just obviously the lyricism that he has and the wordplay that he has, but there's a lot of wisdom in his writing and a lot of fun things to think about. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for being with me for this one. Hope to see you in the next one, because we're eating good.